I'm using lav mics for the first time. If they don't sound good, that's my fault. Design. I've always been a really big fan of design, specifically controller design, and even when I was a kid. For some reason, I just liked thinking about the way things were designed and why the controllers for video game consoles looked the way they did. Nintendo has 9. They have 9 home consoles. They all have controllers. Since I'm an adult now, who has a better appreciation and knowledge of the principles of design, and since I'm a reviewer, if you ignore the date of the last review that I posted, I thought it would be fun to go down Nintendo's catalog of controllers for all of their most prominent home consoles and just rank them on a tier list. Say what I think about them, what they do right, what they do wrong. It's going to be a fun time. First controller. The NES controller was the first controller for a console that Nintendo ever made, if you ignore this one, and we don't talk about that one. As a first controller, it's pretty good. It's not great, but it's pretty good. The first thing you'll notice as a modern day audience is that it's a rectangle, and that fucking sucks. Compared to its contemporary controllers like the Magnavox Odyssey and the Atari 2600, which were also more squared than we know them to be now, they're rounded. They're a lot more rounded. This thing is a knife that will cut into your palm. Because there are no buttons on top and because there are no curves to naturally fit the contours of your fingers, you don't really know how to hold it. Whether it should be fingers in the back, fingers in the top, it doesn't make a difference either way. They both suck. The thing you'd notice first if you were a contemporary player is that. That is a D-pad, a digital pad. It converts digital input into game movement. This was pretty revolutionary for the time. Most controllers, like the aforementioned Magnavox Odyssey and the Atari 2600, used knobs or joysticks to accomplish this. So the D-pad was actually a pretty cool piece of technology. The thing that I noticed when first holding it is that everything is indented. The buttons all valley instead of hilling. The D-pad has an indent, a circular indent in the middle, as well as all of the arrows being pressed in, and the start and select buttons exist within their own little valley on the middle of the controller, and that's also not great. I believe this was done to give your thumb somewhere to rest properly in the middle of the D-pad on that circle and the middle of the A or B button. Instead, it just kind of hurts your hand a little. After long play sessions. Granted, this isn't an issue unless you're doing extended play sessions, but still, it can happen. The original NES controller, honestly, I'm going to put it in D tier. It's not great. There's a lot of issues with it that we've already talked about. It gets a lot better, but even looking at this thing in a vacuum, it's not good. It's not good. Next up, the Super Nintendo controller. The Super Nintendo was the first video game console I ever played, so I might be just a little biased. The first thing you'll notice going off of the NES controller, the corners are rounded. It's a circle connected by a smooth rectangle in the middle, and that's really good. The back of the controller is still relatively flat, although there is a slight curve that I'm just noticing now. So it's still a little awkward to hold, but overall, it's a way better feel in the hand. The second thing you'll notice, the A and the B buttons are hilled rather than valleyed now. They poke out a little bit, and that is so much better. The X and the Y buttons, for some reason, are still indented, which is a strange decision that I'm not sure why they made, other than maybe they were trying to A/B test which one developers liked working with better. But I don't know. The controller now has L and R buttons, which provides a perfect place for your pointer fingers to rest upon, which puts a lot less strain on the back of the controller, supporting only 3 fingers instead of 4, like the NES tried to. The D-pad also still has its indents and its little circle in the middle, but it is a lot bigger than the NES D-pad. It's a lot thicker, and the edges are smoother, so overall the impact of this indenting is a lot less pronounced. A tier. Let's just put it in A. Even though by today's standards, it's lacking a lot. The lack of joysticks is pretty noticeable for the time. Very good. Very good design for a controller. Way ahead of its time, setting the standard for what would come after. The Nintendo VirtualBoy, Nintendo's third console released in the West. I don't have this controller. I don't have like even a replica of it, but I've held one in real life, and I'm looking at a picture of it, so I think I can talk about it. Based on memory, the VirtualBoy controller kind of fucking sucks. The big hand grippy things are way too long, way too thin, way too far apart. The weird box in the middle scrapes against your knuckles like nobody's business. The D-pads are fine, but they're weirdly concave in the middle, so it just kind of is strange. The A and the B buttons are way too small. The start and select button placement is just kind of weird. The whole thing is a nightmare. I think bottom of D tier, honestly, for the VirtualBoy. VirtualBoy fans, stay mad. The Nintendo 64 controller. Wow. I don't want to spend too much time on it. This one fucking sucks. The Nintendo 64 is the first console Nintendo made that was with 3D graphics in mind. And for some reason, this is what they thought would be best to control that. You can either hold the controller like this, where you have one thumb over the D-pad and one thumb over the C-stick, or you can hold it like this, where you have one thumb over the stick and one thumb over the C buttons. Let me explain to you why that's bad. When you're holding it this way, you have access to all the buttons, you have access to the D-pad, but not the stick. Start button is way out of the way, and you're missing the Z button on the back. When you're holding it this way, your hand is incredibly uncomfortable because both of your wrists are at angles that they are not meant to be at. On top of this, the C stick is buttons. They are C buttons. Why they are buttons, I do not know, but it sucks. This control stick is terrible. It is ridged. You'd think that would be to promote grip, but I don't know why they bother doing it, because it doesn't. It's made of a slippery, soft plastic that your thumb just slides right off of it. And you think the notches would help, but the notches are actually so deep on the controller, they just expand this issue, where it's impossible to keep your thumb on the stick. Why your thumb doesn't rest on the A and B buttons, why if they swap the C stick, I don't know. But it really upsets me that this is the case. Where are the X and Y buttons? Who's to say? One of the biggest sins of this controller, ignoring the shape, is this thing, the port on the back. Why does the port on the back suck? Well, it gets in the way of your fingers. It makes it awkward to hold the controller normally and with the 3D in mind. You don't really know how to deal with that port. Why the cartridge port wasn't on the console, I couldn't tell you. I think this is to promote Rumble, but barely any 64 games use the Rumble pack anyway. So why make your controller worse for a feature that most games won't even use? F tier. Not even gonna debate it, not even gonna talk about it. F tier. This one fucking sucks. I hate the Nintendo 64 controller. It's easily the worst one that they've ever made. Man, I wonder why the PlayStation outsold the N64 with a controller like this. It's fucking mystery, man. This is the Nintendo GameCube controller, and it just might be one of the best controllers I've ever used. First of all, I hated this controller as a kid. I thought it looked weird. I didn't get it. Now that I understand design more, and I've played more games than an adult, I totally get it. I love this thing so much. First of all, C buttons are a C stick now. That is great. Second of all, the control stick kept its ridges, so it's also grippy. But unlike the 64 controller, where it was just hard plastic for the entire design, both of these sticks are topped with rubber. so they hold your finger very well. The supports that come down the sides are just the right size to rest perfectly in your fingers, and the L and R buttons are some of the best I've ever seen. This is the first time, and as far as I can tell, the only time Nintendo has experimented with spring buttons, and it works very well. I love these buttons. The face buttons are at a weird angle. You'd think this would feel wrong, but it feels really natural. This is the result of Nintendo sitting down and asking what buttons are used the most in games for what purposes, and they decided on putting them in this orientation. The A button, front and center. It is the one that is most likely to be used for pretty much everything in a game. You want to have access to the A button. The Y and X buttons are curved around the A button, so you can hit the X and the Y by rolling your finger and still holding the A button, which is not something you do with these other controllers. You'd have to let go of the A to press the X button before. Ignore that fuck me. The D-pad is solid and responsive. The C-stick is amazing. The notches on the control sticks are so good. They help you stay oriented. Even when you're holding the controller sideways, you can very easily figure out what way's up, what way's down, because they're notched, because the control stick will snap to those positions. There's a reason, even on PC, Melee players still use the GameCube controller. There's a reason the Wii had GameCube controller slots on the back of it. S tier. Peak. This might be the best game controller I've ever used. I fucking love the GameCube controller, and I'm upset that I don't have one. The Wii Remote is unlike anything we've seen before, and unlike anything we will see after. It was a really one-off design, and there's a reason for that. After the, let's say, complete failures of the VirtualBoy, the GameCube, and the Nintendo 64, they really needed a win. So they came back with the Nintendo Wii. Using a design philosophy they used that catapulted the NES to success. The same way the NES was designed to look like a tape deck or a VHS player, the Wii was designed to look and operate like a television, and the Wii Remote was part of that. It was designed to work like a television remote, pointing at the screen and selecting with a central button. This is good for the Wii. This is bad for everything else. The Wii Remote has no analog stick, instead having a D-pad at the top, which is honestly really solid. Probably the best D-pad we've seen from Nintendo so far. The A and B button, always in reach. The home, plus, and minus buttons. We're done with start and select there. Now plus and minus firmly. Why that changed, I don't know. Holding sideways gives you access to the 1 and the 2 buttons, and that's really it for this controller. The main gimmick was the motion control and the gyro inside of the Wii Remote, and I've made no secret about how I feel about motion control. I'm not a big fan. If you ever wanted to actually play anything more than just a platformer, you would need one of these, a nunchuck accessory that connected into the bottom of the Wii Remote and gave it an analog stick, a C button, and a Z button. It works really well, it fits in your hand very nicely, it's curved very nice to fit the contour of the hand. The problem is, it's wired to the controller, and as these wires get older, they've gotten more stiff, and they get in the way very frequently when you're trying to use this thing. There's a reason that a lot of Wii games completely change what they are when they get ported to the Wii from other consoles, because you can't play a normal game with this. Thinking about playing something like Rivals on a Wii Remote, and I want to die. Wii Remote, revolutionary, fucking brilliant controller, motion controls, wow, fucking C tier. Let's put it in C. It's fine. It's good for a Wii. I don't really want it for anything else. Oh shit, I have to censor outside my window. Let me burn all of my credibility as a reviewer now. I like the Wii U gamepad. First of all, yes, it is heavy. It's the heaviest game controller that I've ever held. It's also rather large, for sure the biggest one that we're talking about today, but I don't really see either of those things as problems. I'm fine with that. You can't lift up the fucking Nintendo controller, little bitch baby? Muscles atrophied from playing fucking Call of Duty all day? Why don't you go to the fucking gym? What am I talking about? Normally, I'd complain about this, but the control sticks are not staggered. They are on the same level on either side. But for a gamepad, for a controller this big, I'm actually okay with that. The return of the D-pad, nothing to say. Really good D-pad. The face buttons are a little more spaced out than I'd like. They're smaller for some reason than I feel like they should be. The triggers are nice. The grip on the side is very good. Oh yeah, and there's a big fucking touchscreen in the middle of it. This was the main draw of the Wii U, the touchscreen, and it's the thing that a lot of people hate about the Wii U. I think it works great. I think it fits good. I understand why a lot of people dislike it. The main thing I'll say, the battery life on the Wii gamepad is not good. The battery life is very poor. After being fully plugged in, it can last for about an hour unplugged, which is terrible. And I'm not gonna make an excuse for that. That just sucks. That being said, I like the Wii U gamepad, even for games that don't use the bottom screen. I like the Wii U gamepad because I like a big, hefty controller. I like it to feel like I'm holding something that's not gonna snap if I like twist my hand, you know? Fucking C, yeah. C, why not? C tier. Wii U gamepad, pretty good. Didn't think that was controversial enough. We're about to get real fucking controversial in here. The Nintendo Switch was the next console to come out, and the Joy-Con was the key feature of it. They are controllers that can be slotted into the side of the console or can be held separately in their hand. You can also play a game with the controller sideways. However, why on earth would you ever do that? I'm not going to bother talking about that because it's completely worthless as a feature. This grip is fine. It's got a bridge on the back that connects the two sides that is kind of awkward in your hand. Your middle fingers don't really have a place to rest firmly because of that bridge, but there's like not really a way they could have avoided that. The controllers are tiny. The Joy-Cons are way too small. They don't feel good to hold outside of the grip, and as a result, in the grip, it's not super better. My two biggest gripes are they have replaced the wonderful joysticks from the Wii and the Wii U with these terrible, like, soft rubber, slippery joysticks that are, again, just too small. I don't know. I don't really like the Switch controllers all that much. Another thing they've replaced is the D-pad with directional buttons, with a set of 4 buttons instead. The reason they did this is so if you're playing with it outside of the grip, sideways, it's the same button layout every time. I think that is a stupid concession to make because the buttons piss me off. I don't like the directional buttons. Just give me the D-pad back. Overall, it's fine. It's a fine controller. Even ignoring the drift issues that you can get, it's fine. I just would prefer something else, like a lot. Fucking D tier. I feel like there's way better ways to play the Switch than with the... No. C tier. I wouldn't feel good putting them below the Wii U gamepad, but they're not great. C tier, that's fine. Final entry on today's list. The Switch 2 Joy-Cons. What can I say about them? Let's try and rapid fire this. They are bigger. They're bigger than the Switch 1 Joy-Cons, and that is good. However, not really good because they're still too small. The side grips, instead of being the bulky ones that came with the Switch 1, are these flat little pieces of plastic that barely even do anything. And the reason they are like that is so you can use the mouse control that is built in with the Switch 2. That was a mistake, because Switch 2 mouse control is terrible. Using it for even a couple minutes cramped my hand and hurt my wrist. And as a result, the SR and SL buttons are just a little harder to hit when you are in the sideways Joy-Con mode. The grip, because the Switch 2 uses magnet instead of a rail system for the controllers, they have to slide into the grip sideways, like that. As a result, there is no material here. There's a flat edge along the grip, and that is worse. It kind of digs into your hand the same way that the NES controller did, to bring it full circle. D-pad still gone, still buttons, still makes me mad. Part of me really wants to give it a higher grade, but it's just the Switch 1 Joy-Cons again, but the same. So I think I'm gonna be petty and put it in D tier just because it's like the Switch 1, but not really better, which makes it worse by default. Because you're coming out like nearly 10 years later, you should be way better than you are, right? Why are they just slightly better than the Switch 1 Joy-Cons? I'm pissed about this. I'm gonna be petty and put them in D tier, and it's my list, fuck you. Alright, I should be done, but I'm not. We're just gonna fucking rapid fire talk about all these accessories and shit, and it's gonna be fun and fine, and it's not gonna take very long. We're gonna devote a couple seconds to each of them. Get ready to fuck up the tier list to make it completely nothing anymore, because here we go! The controller for the SNES Classic. It's literally exactly the same as the normal SNES controller, except it can connect to the back of a Wii remote. Fucking A tier. This is getting to a very stupid start. The Nintendo 64 Rumble Pack. It plugs into the back of the Nintendo 64 controller. It just makes it feel off balance and worse, and the rumble does not feel good. Put it in F. Wii remote with a condom on. I don't like the condom. It's too big at the top. Fucking, I don't know, D? I don't know. How am I supposed to rank that? Mario Kart wheel, the official one from Nintendo. It's really good. It works very well. I like the way the B button works on it. That's a fucking A tier. Bootleg Wii wheel. This came with, I want to say, M&M Kart Racer. Fucking terrible game, terrible controller. It's flimsy, it's thin as shit. F. The original Wii Pro controller. It has a pink case on it. I'm not 100% sure why. It's good. It works. It's basically the only way to play games like Smash Brawl. It's like a SNES controller, but with more buttons and analog sticks. Fucking S tier, I guess. This is a GameCube controller that plugs into the back of a Wii remote. It is very nice. I like it, but it's a little light and the grips are a little thin. It does have a turbo button though. So, A. This is also a GameCube controller that plugs into the back of a Wii remote, except it's Caleb's, it's not mine. I'm going to talk about it anyway. It's a little thicker, so it's a little weird to hold around the index fingers, but that's fine. Also, the L and R and ZL and ZR are swapped from where they are on a normal GameCube controller. B. The Wii balance board, specifically for the Wii U. It came with Wii Fit. I use it a lot. I use Wii Fit. It works. It's a scale. It measures where your body weight is. That's pretty cool. A. The Wii U pedometer. It came free with a copy of Wii Fit U. It worked very well. I liked it. I use it every day until it went through the washing machine, and now it doesn't track steps properly anymore, so just for that, I'm gonna have to put it in B. You thought we were done with wheels just because we moved on from the Wii? Fuck you. You look so fucking stupid right now. This is the Wii U wheel for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. It's just the same as the Wii wheel, except there's a bit missing on the top. The B button is a little less satisfying, and the decal on the bottom got a lot of gunk on it, and it looks terrible. So I guess fucking C. Have you ever wanted to not pay way too much money for a Switch Pro controller, but also have something with input latency? the fucking bootleg Switch Pro controller I got from GameStop. It has trouble connecting to the console, and it has a lot of input delay for games like Smash, but it feels way better to hold than the Joy-Cons, so I guess fucking C tier. Pokeball Plus. This is not a Pokeball Plus. This is just a Pokeball because I lost. I don't have my Pokeball Plus anymore. I'm not going to buy a new one, though, because it fucking sucks. F tier. The R-Wing controller, Starlink Battle for Atlas. You can tell what's wrong with it just by fucking looking at it. The R-Wing is way too heavy, and the controller feels very unbalanced. You can tell from the back that the grips are flat, completely invalidating the point of fucking grips. F tier. Why would you make this? The Switch One side grips, they're fine. I don't like the Switch One side grip at all, though. D. Switch 2 side grips, they're like the Switch 1 side grip, but worse. Fucking F. Switch 2 Pro controller with Kirby on it. I got this for Christmas. It's the only way I play Switch 2 anymore. I don't even use the Joy-Cons. S tier. This is a perfect controller, and I'm a very big fan. Look at that. Look at how we ruined our perfectly normal tier list with a bunch of bullshit, huh? Let's just get all the fuck-ass shit off there and look at the real tier list. Wow, isn't that cool? Like, the last 5 minutes were pointless. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, what did we learn today? We learned that the best controller is the GameCube, and the worst one is the Nintendo 64. And all of the ones in between are varying levels of good and bad. Some could say the real lesson was the controllers were the friends that we made along the way.